Ryan Blake stepped into the sleek lobby of Apex Innovations, feeling a mix of anticipation and apprehension. Though he was the billionaire heir to the company, no one here knew his true identity, not yet. Dressed in faded jeans, a wrinkled button-down shirt, and scuffed sneakers, he looked like any other visitor. Around his neck hung a simple employee ID, a clever forgery that allowed him to blend in seamlessly. Rumors had reached his ears about a toxic culture within the company, especially regarding how certain staff members treated those who didn't fit the mold of a high-powered executive. Whispers suggested that sensitive information might be leaking to rival firms, and Ryan needed to witness it all firsthand. He wanted to see how the staff would treat someone who didn't look the part. As he entered the lobby, the cool air from the air conditioning enveloped him. The space was modern, with glass walls and polished marble floors designed to impress. At the front desk stood a woman named Jessica, impeccably dressed in a tailored blazer. Her name tag read, Jessica Hart. She glanced up, her expression shifting from boredom to mild annoyance. "Do you have an appointment?" she asked, her voice dripping with condescension. "Good morning," Ryan replied, forcing a polite smile. "I don't have an appointment, but I was hoping to speak with someone in management." Jessica raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. "Without an appointment, you'll need to fill out an inquiry form and wait for a response. Our time is valuable." Ryan noted the disdain in her tone but maintained his composure. "I understand. If I could just take a moment to fill out the form, I'd appreciate it." Jessica sighed heavily, clearly annoyed. "Fine. I'll print one out for you." She turned to her computer, rolling her eyes. As she walked away, Ryan felt a wave of frustration wash over him. He reminded himself that this was exactly why he was there, to observe how people were treated based on their appearance. He watched as Jessica printed the form and slapped it down on the counter. "Fill this out and put it in the Dropbox," she instructed, her tone dismissive. Ryan took the form, scanning the fields for name and contact information. He pretended to fill it out, but his mind was elsewhere. A flicker of movement caught his eye as he noticed Jessica on the phone, her expression tense. "I told you," she whispered urgently, "it's not ready yet. We need more time." Her voice dropped to a conspiratorial tone, making Ryan's curiosity spike. Who was she talking to? Just then, Jessica turned her attention back to him. "Are you almost done?" she asked, arms crossed. "Just finishing up," Ryan replied, writing down nonsensical information. He slid the form into the Dropbox and took a step back, watching as Jessica's phone buzzed again. She glanced at it, her face tightening. As the day wore on, Ryan noted how Jessica treated other visitors who appeared more affluent, engaging them with warmth and respect while dismissing him as if he were invisible. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more sinister at play. The stark contrast in treatment fueled his determination to uncover the truth. After a few hours, Ryan decided to leave, but not before catching a glimpse of the office floor. He noticed a group of employees gathered around a conference table, discussing something in hushed tones. Curiosity piqued, he lingered near the entrance, trying to overhear their conversation. "Did you hear about the data breach?" one employee whispered. "I heard it's worse than we thought," another replied. "They're worried about leaks to competitors." Ryan's heart raced. This was exactly what he had come to investigate. He slipped out of the building, determined to return with a plan. The next day, Ryan re-entered Apex Innovations, but this time he was armed with a new identity. Dressed sharply in a tailored suit and carrying a slim briefcase, he looked the part of a high-powered consultant. He had arranged this through a trusted ally in HR, someone who still believed in the company's mission. As he approached the front desk, Jessica barely glanced up. "Do you have an appointment?" she asked, her tone flat. "Yes, I'm here for a security audit on behalf of Titan Solutions," Ryan replied confidently. Jessica's demeanor shifted. "Oh, right. You can take the elevator to the 15th floor. Ask for Michael Green." Ryan felt a rush of satisfaction as he walked away, realizing that Jessica's dismissive attitude had vanished in the face of his new identity. Once on the 15th floor, Ryan met with Michael, who was welcoming and eager to assist. "We've been having some strange issues with our data management," Michael explained. "We need to get to the bottom of it quickly." As Ryan set up at a vacant workstation, he began poring through server logs. It didn't take long for him to find irregularities, files being accessed at odd hours and under usernames that didn't match any legitimate employee accounts. Hours passed, and Ryan's suspicion grew stronger. He noticed that the timestamps of unauthorized access coincided with Jessica's shifts at the front desk. Could she be involved in the leaks? Determined to gather more evidence, Ryan reached out to Lisa, a junior analyst he had met earlier. He shared his findings and asked for her help. Lisa was eager to assist, her eyes wide with concern. "I've heard rumors about Jessica," she admitted. "Some of us think she's been acting strangely lately." Ryan decided they needed to set a trap to confirm their suspicions. They created a decoy folder filled with fake documents, embedding a tracking program that would log any unauthorized access. Later that evening, they watched as Jessica accessed the folder from her workstation. The tracer activated, revealing that she was transferring files to an external server. Ryan's heart raced. They had her. With police assistance, they planned to confront Jessica and her accomplice, who Ryan suspected might be a higher-up in the company. When the moment came, they cornered Jessica in the lobby, confronting her with the evidence they had gathered. "What do you think you're doing?" she sneered, but her bravado faltered as Ryan revealed his true identity. "I'm the owner of Apex Innovations," he declared. "And you're under investigation for corporate espionage." Jessica's face paled as realization dawned on her. "You don't have any proof," she stammered. Ryan's expression hardened. "I have all the proof I need. The police are on their way." In the following weeks, the fallout from Jessica's actions reverberated throughout the company. Ryan worked tirelessly to restore trust among the staff, ensuring that the culture of Apex Innovations returned to its original values of integrity and respect. He conducted meetings with employees, reassuring them that their voices mattered and that the company would be a place where everyone could thrive. As he walked through the offices, he reflected on how close the company had come to losing everything. With the threat of espionage neutralized, he could finally focus on building a brighter future for Apex Innovations, one that honored his father's legacy. He introduced new policies emphasizing transparency and inclusion, creating an environment where employees felt safe to speak up. However, as the dust settled, Ryan remained vigilant. He knew that deeper threats could still lurk in the shadows. The name Operator 12 had come up repeatedly during the investigation, and Ryan was determined to uncover who was behind it. He began working closely with Lisa, who had proven to be an invaluable ally. One evening, as they dug through old files and communications, they stumbled upon a cryptic email thread that hinted at a larger network involved in corporate espionage. The emails referenced various shell companies and suspicious transactions that could implicate high-ranking officials across the industry. "This is big," Ryan said, his heart racing. "We need to follow this lead." Lisa nodded, her expression serious. "If we can trace these connections, we might uncover the entire operation." As they continued their investigation, Ryan felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He was not just protecting a company, he was safeguarding the legacy of his father, the man who had built Apex Innovations from the ground up with integrity and vision. Days turned into weeks as they pieced together evidence, but the mystery of Operator 12 loomed larger than ever. Ryan and Lisa decided to set up a sting operation to catch whoever was behind the emails. They crafted a plan to lure the suspected parties into a meeting under the guise of a potential partnership. The day of the meeting arrived, and Ryan felt a surge of adrenaline. He and Lisa positioned themselves in a conference room, ready to record the meeting and capture any incriminating conversations. As the time approached, tension filled the air. When the door opened, Ryan's heart sank. The figure who walked in was none other than Martin Grayson, the former executive who had been closely associated with Jessica. Martin's presence confirmed Ryan's fears that he was linked to the ongoing espionage. "Glad you could make it," Ryan said, feigning a casual tone as he gestured for Martin to take a seat. Martin smiled, but there was a glint of suspicion in his eyes. "I'm intrigued by what you have to offer." As the conversation progressed, Ryan carefully navigated the discussion, dropping hints about the company's new initiatives while subtly probing for information about Martin's dealings. "Your interest in our technology is noted," Ryan said, watching Martin closely. "But I'm curious, what do you think about the recent data breaches?" Martin's demeanor shifted slightly, a flicker of tension crossing his face. "Data breaches happen all the time in this industry. It's unfortunate, but you learn to adapt." Ryan pressed on. "It's essential to have the right safeguards in place. After all, you wouldn't want your own secrets to fall into the wrong hands." The tension in the room thickened, and Ryan could feel the stakes rising. Just as he was about to ask another probing question, Martin's phone buzzed on the table. He glanced at it, and a flicker of panic crossed his face before he composed himself. "Excuse me for a moment," Martin said, standing up and stepping out of the room. Ryan exchanged a concerned glance with Lisa. "This isn't over. We need to find out what he's up to." They waited, listening intently. After several minutes, Martin returned, looking more composed. "I appreciate your time. Let's discuss this further." Ryan nodded, but his instincts told him that Martin was hiding something. As the meeting concluded, Ryan decided to follow Martin discreetly. He had to know what was happening behind the scenes. As he trailed Martin through the building, Ryan's heart raced. He watched as Martin entered a side door, glancing around to ensure no one was watching. Ryan slipped in after him, finding himself in a dimly lit corridor lined with server rooms. Ryan pressed against the wall, straining to hear Martin's voice. He could hear snippets of conversation, but it was mostly muffled. Then, he heard a name that sent chills down his spine: Operator 12. Realizing he was onto something significant, Ryan pulled out his phone and began recording. He captured Martin discussing plans to transfer sensitive data to an unknown buyer. The details were chilling, and Ryan knew he had to act quickly to stop whatever was about to happen. Just as he was about to make his move, Ryan heard footsteps approaching. He ducked into an open server room, hiding behind a row of towering racks filled with equipment. He held his breath, listening intently as Martin walked past, speaking in hushed tones to someone on the phone. "We can't afford any mistakes," Martin said urgently. "Operator 12 wants results, and we're running out of time." Ryan's heart raced as he realized the depth of the conspiracy. He needed to expose this, not just for the sake of Apex Innovations but for the integrity of the entire industry. Once the coast was clear, Ryan slipped out of the server room and made his way back to Lisa. "We have to act fast. I have evidence that implicates Martin in something much larger." Together, they devised a plan to gather enough proof to bring down Martin and his accomplices. They knew they needed to approach the authorities carefully, ensuring they had everything documented before making their move. As they presented their findings to law enforcement, the urgency of the situation became clear. With the pieces of the puzzle falling into place, Ryan felt a renewed sense of determination. He would protect his father's legacy and ensure that Apex Innovations remained a beacon of integrity in the tech world. Days later, law enforcement launched a coordinated raid on Martin's suspected hideout. Ryan and Lisa watched anxiously as the authorities moved in, confident that they were closing in on the truth. When the dust settled, Martin was arrested, and key evidence was recovered, including documents that tied him directly to Operator 12's network. The victory felt bittersweet, but Ryan knew they had taken a significant step in securing the future of Apex Innovations. As he stood in the office the next morning, looking out over the city, Ryan felt a mix of pride and relief. He had faced down corruption and emerged stronger, but he knew the battle was far from over. The name Operator 12 still lingered in the air, a reminder that challenges lay ahead. With renewed resolve, Ryan gathered his team and began implementing new measures to safeguard the company's future. He emphasized transparency, accountability, and a culture of respect that honored the values his father had instilled in him. As Apex Innovations moved forward, Ryan felt confident that they could weather any storm. He had proven that he was not just the heir to a legacy but a leader ready to protect it at all costs. The future might be uncertain, but with his team by his side, Ryan was determined to forge a path of integrity and innovation that would honor his father's vision for years to come.